Q&A. You have questions, I have a couple of answers. Let's jump into it. Velja asks, what do you think of LR Jungler? What do I think of LR Jungler? Think he's a funny dude, good-hearted, fun-spirited, Sometimes I wish he did a little bit more studying, but that's something that he can find backup with. I think if LR's jungler finds beauty in discipline and repetition, I think that his, potential is truly immense. But that is the main challenge to overcome because the talent is clearly there, and I think it's just a question of, putting in very, very good work every single day, especially as most of the time, the biggest challenge that junglers face is that solo queue is so different from competitive play, and it's unrewarding to practice competitive league in solo queue and then, jump into scrims. It's unrewarding because you don't win, and obviously most players are wired to pursue the things that give them dopamine in the game, right? And you might be spamming your Silas, your Zeds, and I think this is the challenge that every jungler faces. But let me tell you, that one jungler that puts 50 games of Trundle in, he's gonna be better than everybody else. So as long as LR's jungler recognizes this one, let me tell you, world is his oyster. Markus Toivonen asks, do you think being the head coach of LR is your final coaching role? Honestly, it could be. I think it's very hard to know exactly what the future holds. I had no idea I would be coaching Los Ratones. You have no idea, where things are heading. And even though I can't see myself committing to a full year or 2 year, 3 year type of project, moving abroad, I can imagine, working in some kind of different management, position in a capacity of supporting staffs and making sure that they are set up for success rather than being in the trenches. I've been in the scene now for 15 years, and I think that I can leverage that experience. And at the same time, those 15 years come with, age. It's like I'm at the point in my life where I'm starting to think about buying a house and maybe having children, Elian asks, what do you consider your biggest achievement as a coach? For example, if you were to impress a team to become the coach, what would be the first achievement you mentioned? Thanks in advance. Good luck with LR fighting. Usually, if I ever am speaking to somebody, in regards to my work, I don't really reference achievements, I don't think it really makes sense. Like at first they should know, and at the same time, the context is what matters. But personally, the things that I'm proud of is I do think the 2016 splice going from, of course, relegation in spring and then ramping up all the way to summer, getting second place and then to the World Championship, I think is something that I'm proud of. The 2018 Vitality roster, everybody ranked us dead last, but we managed to piece it together, get to the World Championship and do some damage there. Even though I haven't made it out of, the group stages at the World Championship, because I just, in most cases, just run into Samsung and RNG. I'm proud of the fact that we managed to take games off of them, Same thing with the T1 run, taking a game of T1, where the prep and the player strengths are highlighted and we attack the enemy's weakness. I think that feels very, very rewarding when I think back. Being the only coach to have gone to Korea and take that massive risk and have a decent amount of success, to the point where I got an extension, but I just didn't take it because of COVID. Those are the things that I look back on very fondly. Nothing really in my player career. I think from the coaching side, I think a criticism that people lay on me often is like, oh, he never won anything, right? Not a lot of people did win in the LEC, right? It's like either caps or no caps, but I do think that looking at the circumstance and what people had as an expectation, I look back fondly on those moments where we exceeded those expectations as a group. That to me is what I'm proud of the most. Thoughts on the Baus FFS progress and growth as a pro player? Is he already on par with top LEC top laners macro-wise, or is he still getting there? I think the biggest challenge for Baus is, I think the distance is not that big. think it's just a question of consistency. It's like there's certain like things in terms of lane management, there's certain things in terms of you know um, base timers and how you connect with your team. I think that conceptually, Baus understands this very well, and he is very receptive to feedback. He's very, very mature and very, very good at putting the work in. The main thing is that he's doing a lot of catch up on things that the LEC top laners have been working on for a very, very long time. But I do think that so far with the progress, bro, I'm very impressed with Baus, and I'm excited to see his progression. Like it's been really, really fun. He's getting there, and it's just a question of like finding consistency and applying the same principles every game. That is the crucial detail. Mega Baboon asks, what do you think of the political and economic state of the world? Do you shave or wax your butthole? So I do feel like we're kind of in the end game of capitalism, right? Obviously, capitalism is a way better system than feudalism that we had, even though we are in a form of techno-feudalism because the tech overlords are dictating what gets exposure, and you're basically on their land, so to speak, if you're making content or selling anything online, whether it's Amazon or advertisement on Google, of course. I do think that there is a tension where in many big nations you have the situation where the disparity between, of course, the rich and the poor, that seems to just widen and widen. And I wonder if it ever gets to the point where people are fed up with it, or if the political systems in place will give an avenue for people to kind of enforce their own change. But that seems so difficult considering how easy it is to manipulate the narrative in terms of how information is flowing, and at the same time in terms of how tired people are, and at the same time, let's say, distracted people are with all of these, let's say, toys that are accessible to us, like Coco Short or even YouTube, or everything is kind of just fighting for your attention. So who really has a bandwidth to recognize, what impact you could potentially have and what change you could have on the world? See, the whole planet is torn up by war, and I don't know what the end game will be. I really, really don't know. Will people enact, their power and rise together, or will people just get beaten down and we move into a completely Orwellian society? I trim. I don't shave or wax. I have to say, I did the shaving thing once, and it was fourth flight and worst mistake of my life. Terrible. Yo, Shanti, you haven't won a single game as Los Ratones coach yet. When do we get Caedrel back? Like, thing is, I am keeping Caedrel in my basement until the split is over. And I cloned him with pieces of hair that I extracted during the League Awards. So his streams will continue as usual and you won't notice a difference. So I have hijacked the situation. Why doesn't the West try to get advantages from other sources than gameplay, like drafts? I think that the West does try that. I think there is a nuance to this where I do think in the past, Korea was very rigid in the way they prepped. But I think that Damwon really, really changed. I was there in Korea, and Damwon really changed their approach and learned things from how, let's say, G2 approached things. That's something that Showmaker said he got a lot of inspiration from. And that looseness, and especially with a team like T1, that is a lot more player-driven, JMG as well, as you can see. I don't think that, of course there's an edge to make, to draft, but I want to remind people that like the top teams all over the world are also actively looking to find that edge in draft. And unless you know the basics of the game and understand like the principles of the game at the highest level, you won't really understand how to break them as well. But there's definitely opportunities there, and I do think that teams try. It's just that it's not as easy as it seems, because the other teams are also trying to innovate and you're fighting against that. Ego asks, how did you get approached to be Los Ratones coach? Was it just simply through a DM from Caedrel? No disrespect to the former coach, but was lacking from the previous coach, and did you think you're looking to improve or have improved on the team? You know, it's hard for me to know exactly, you know, what the coaches didn't or didn't do. I don't really think it matters. I think my advantage coming into the team is the fact that, you know, even though there's a lot of great things to, of course, utilize from the year that they've built and the experience that they have together, coming in with a fresh perspective and, you know, attacking some of the same problems that they might have faced from a different angle is my advantage. I don't think it's a question of, you know, me knowing something better than the other guys or something. It's just a question of like doing things differently and also leveraging my LEC experience. Because the crucial detail is that I get to work with the team in a period where they are focused completely on competing, right? We don't stream the scrims, we don't, you know, focus on content and so forth. And like, I'm not that great of a content creator, nothing like this. I like to coach and I like to work hard. So it's just a different skill set and a different situation altogether. You know, I am working close with Caedrel, which is really, really fun, which is also really great. One went off to do like different things. I will be very happy to work with him too. Caedrel just reached out to me because I think he thought that it just made sense because I had an established relationship with the guys already. In the short term, that's also very important. Being sociable and you know, being able to connect with the guys in a very rapid pace is important. LEC experience and you know, one of the guys that is available to do, you know, a short-term project like you know, a single winter split. You know, you're not gonna get like Dylan Falco or Melzet to join for a split and to, you know, get out of the job, you know, from where they are. So you're stuck with me. Yiro asks, what does NA need to do to revitalize league interest and tier 2 development? Does it pure stem from lack of support from orgs, Riot, or both? I think it's, as harsh as it might sound, I think it's too late. I do think that there's a lot of decisions, if we open up the Pandora's box of North America, that were so bad along the way. For example, the misuse of big money spending that came into the league. We had like baseball teams, football teams, and we had, you know, massive crypto deals, and we had, you know, venture capitalist money that was just spent on making these, you know, massive you know, acquisitions in the shape of a Huni contract or in the shape of a Sword Art contract that basically just bankrupted some teams in terms of how they set themselves up. When in reality, they could have used that money to maybe secure the next, you know, 10 years of operations and set up something that, you know, would have the region thriving. You know, you could easily have made like an academy team and run a very formidable, you know, main roster too, with a smaller budget, and then to approach things in North America in a very different way. Those are the momentum of course, the streaming that happened in, you know, North America. It's funny that we went like full circle, but the big edge North America had, it was the biggest league for the Western audiences, was that, you know, all the personalities were streamers. They were massive. From the Curse players to, of course, the CLG players and the TSM players, from Hotcher GG to Doublelift to Den Bjergsen. Like, all of these guys were public personalities, and at some point, the focus shifted to international performances. And that was a massive mistake. International performances was never, you know, the most important thing. And it did seem like VC money and the focus on internationals made everything a lot more corporate and short-term driven, because people spend a lot of money to, of course, try to win championships fast. And then it doesn't help that Riot made terrible decisions like renaming the league, putting it on weekdays, and then while making all of these decisions, try to convince to you that you're stupid. And I think the biggest problem is when you don't honor the time of a viewer and you don't give them a sense of continuity, people are going to stop watching your product. Why is co-streaming so important now? Because while the teams change, the format change, league changes, you can tune in to a Caedrel stream and see a familiar face. People enjoy continuity. It's the same. It's like Game of Thrones could be one of the greatest shows of all time. But as you rewatch it, there's something in the back of your mind that tells you the ending is ass. And you feel like you're kind of wasting your time. And it's hard to enjoy what you're going through. And I think if you invest time into something, like let's say you're learning about a team, you're learning about their players, you're learning about the history, you want to feel like that means something. If you think that, oh, I'm going to learn all about this team and invest so much time into this team, and then next year I don't even know if they're going to be there, like 100 Thieves, then what are we actually doing? There's been zero continuity from North America, and now I feel like it's too late. If you want to save North America at this point, I think you got to make the region, basically, you open it up, no more import restrictions, and I think that you just go hard in the paint about making this the money league. Let the organizations that have a lot of money come into the league and let them make super teams over North America. I feel like that's how you revive it. It might sound very cruel and harsh, but I just don't know how you survive this, because the moment the core players that are on green cards are no longer playing in Europe, I don't know, in North America, I don't know how you recover from that. It's like you lost Busio, you lost Jojo Pune to Europe. Some of the other NA talent is also going to go to Europe over time because it's just way more attractive. And the moment Inspired is out, KoJJ is out, what do you really do? What do you really do with this region? It's just going to be impossible to justify investing time into, of course, North America. Can Baus cook, or is he cooked forever? Baus, my man. Baus, my man. Come on now. What are we talking about? He's going to cook, man. He's going to boil. He's going to boil. He's going to fry. He's going to deep fry. He's going to even smoke. And if you want to, he's going to roast as well, bro. All types of cooking is going to be happening. And let me tell you something. We're playing BO1s. We are playing BO1s. Qualify, of course, to the best of threes. You think they can ban everything? They can't do some strats where they take champions away and then fearless. We're playing BO1s. You can't even spell Simon without Sion. He's going to boil the league, let me tell you. Molecule asks, LEC aren't doing the coach comms thing, but what do you think the best use of the 3x45 blocks that we'll see in LCP, LCK? Just overall thoughts on it too, I guess. I'm not a super big fan. I think it removes from the core game. I think that it's not relatable to a player that is playing League of Legends. So I think it's pointless. The only justification I would see is if those sound bites would be played on broadcast, similar to Formula One. Like imagine like it's like if the coach is goated and says some cool shit and they smurf, that's insane. If he says some dumb shit, that's hilarious. Kind of like imagine it's like it's the same as tuning into Ferrari comms, and it's like, I'm fighting, stop talking to me, like that would be hilarious to me. But it seems like this is not something that they're going to be broadcasting. The best use, I think, is just 45 seconds is a lot. I would just use it as like potential reminders when people get off track. I think that this is something that you'd probably practice in scrims to kind of add. I would probably use it as a tool to reinforce game ideas, and when players are basically straying off the path, either mentally or from a gameplay perspective. I think that I would probably use it to just give very important feedback that would change the course of the game in terms of game setup and timers. I could see, because it's 45 seconds, that you just come in and you like micromanage it. It's like, guys, they have 3 flashes, no 3 flashes here. Write this timer down. I need you to itemize this, and I need you to be ready for here. Like, I think it could be very, very extensive, to the point where maybe you just micromanage like whole ass fights, like Nashor's. Like, all right, Syndrome on cooldown, 6 seconds down, 5 seconds down. You just like jump into the combos because it's 45 seconds. That's a massive block, you know. I can easily like see myself micromanaging a team fight, but I think the jarring thing is if you only try this for one split, you're not gonna get the most out of it. And I really hope that they're not gonna be adding this at all. I don't think it makes sense. It's just a nerf to Faker. Let's be honest. It's just a nerf to Faker. They're like, Faker, time to not win a world championship. What are we doing here? And I think if it goes so deep that people are going to use it as a 6-man, I think that people are going to hire specific people for this position. I feel very comfortable doing so, but you know, I think that if you brought in like a legendary super, like for example, T1 have Mata. Like you bring in Mata, I think that would be like super helpful to just have as a 6-man in the game. I think that would be insane. But we'll see. We'll see. That's it for this one. A little Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to do a vlog to kind of talk about the bootcamp, give you guys more info. But for now, let's leave it at that. Maybe if you guys have more questions, you can leave them, of course, in the comments, and maybe we can run this back. I'm willing to answer anything in regards to, you know, Los Ratones, the coaching, and in general, League of Legends. So thank you very much. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.